system.
Do most people come into this country on airplane, or do they come in by vehicle and car? Or vehicle, cars, and walking?
I would anticipate it would be air, but I don't know.
Again, you're in charge of this stuff, and so when will you get us that information?
I'm not in charge of the operations, but I am in charge of working on the.
You're in charge of screening. Your title says screening in it. So, if they come in on a visa waiver program by air and depart not by air, what percentage of those people do you capture?
So that is what I would say is one of the gaps that we have acknowledged. If someone comes in by air and leaves by land, yes.
And there are literally hundreds of thousands of people who may have come here legally, but now they're here illegally, correct?
I don't have that number with me, but
Is it hundreds of thousands of people?
I don't have that number.
The answer is yes, correct? I mean, Mr. Lynch laid it out there for you.
I recognize that I'm under oath, and I just don't want to provide misinformation to you. It is not that I don't want to provide information.
So it's somewhere between hundreds of thousands and potentially the low millions of people that came here legally through the visa waiver program. What were the topic of this? The topic that we're discussing, and just decided they're not going to leave. And you should have a list of those people, right? Do you share any of that info? Who else gets that list? Who do you share that list with?
That list is shared with, I believe, it's shared with interagency partners, and it's shared across, yeah.
Who do you share that list with?
I don't have the list with me.
You're the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Screening Coordination, and in your job description of the one paragraph on the website, you're supposed to be the one that's coordinating with the other departments and agencies. When you have somebody who's a visa overstay, do you consider that a threat to the United States of America?
Sir, sometimes there are people who overstay that are grandmas that come over to take care of their grandchildren. I wouldn't call them a threat. I'm not saying that they shouldn't abide by the terms of their admission period, but calling them a threat is a totally different, circumstance.
So you just assume that everybody that comes here on this visa waiver program is not a threat?
I didn't say that either. Anybody who comes and overstays their period of admission here receives that final removal order, and we go after them and prioritize them based on national security and public safety first.
When do they get
resources that we have?
When do they get that removal order?
I mean, if you're here for VWP and it's 90 days, and on the 91st day, you're considered to be an overstay.
You said they give them a removal order. Who gives them the removal order?
The removal order would come from ICE.
And how many
I can check on the time frame. But
and will you also give us the list of how many of those have been sent out? When you have somebody who has then overstayed their visa, come here on the visa waiver program, which law enforcement entities do you share that with? Which databases does that go into? Can you name one?
So we will have within DHS the who has the final removal orders. I believe it's shared with state and local, but I don't want to say that with certainty right now. So, I will do my very best to get you the information that the department has on those questions.
Yeah, who is the specific person that would know? You report to, sorry, you told me earlier, the person you report to is?
Assistant Secretary Seth Stoddard. I'm in the Office of Policy.
And that person reports to?
Assistant Secretary Alan Burson.
And that person reports to?
The Secretary of Homeland Security.
Jay Johnson.
Yes, sir.
The request we sent was for Jay Johnson, and Jay Johnson sent you as the expert on these topics. So, you know, this is why I think we need help on both sides of the aisle here, but Mr. Johnson, the Secretary himself, has got to come answer these questions. You strike me as a very nice person, but these are basic questions about the functionality here, and when we're having a congressional hearing, it is a waste of this committee's time to send somebody who doesn't know the answers to very basic questions. And that's why we will continue to pursue very vigorous oversight. We look forward to robust discussions. You're accelerating the need for us to have multiple hearings on this. Yield back.